of mythological, you would see it all around you in all kinds of popular movies, but a prime example of a perfect myth is It's a Wonderful Life. It is a reluctant hero. The young man is there. He wants to see the world. He has big plans for himself. His father is essentially the king or the chief or the savior of the poor people in the village. His father dies. Young George, Jimmy Stewart's character, takes over the business, though he does not want to. He was very talented and very good at it. Time passes. He sees his friends move on.
Hee-haw, Sam Wainwright.
Hee-haw. Lets him in on the ground floor.
That's right.
He's going to let him in on the ground floor of plastics. He doesn't want to get in there.
That's right.
He wants to see the world. He ignores an opportunity.
I think Plastics was The Graduate, was it not? Something to do with soy.
It
Who
could
remembers?
be soy.
Does anyone here remember?
Maybe it's soy plastic. I
don't
sure.
know. Is there anyone here that's seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life more than one time? I don't know if we have such a person, such a mythical creature here in the audience tonight. I'd soon ask if there are any Loch Ness monsters in the crowd.
Hoarding that knowledge.
Someone yelling out over here.
It was plastic out of soybeans.
Plastic out of soybeans.
We were both right. Thank you, young lady.
There we go.
Or young effeminate man. I'm not sure. I can't see. It was a... Ultimately, what he does is the hero, in this case, it's the reluctant hero. He goes about his business. The town miser is Lionel Barrymore. He's very angry.
Mr. Potter.
He's the European dragon. European dragons are very evil. They're hoarding gold and they're
sitting in
hoarding
wheelchairs.
He's hoarding virgins, which none of these things they can appreciate or make good use of. So,
why do you suppose the dragons did it? What were the dragons going to do with those virgins?
In the European, it's just to present a challenge. Frankly, the dragon represents yourself. The hoarding takes place.
I don't care for that at all.
Well, that's why you've got to go inside, and you have to defeat that dragon and release what is inside: the gold, the virginity, that which is desirable, those things that you crave, those things which you desire. You see,
certainly.
Those things, of course, are representative in our animalistic sense, but the spiritual sense is to find what's great is in yourself.
Well, now I've derailed you. We were talking about the film It's a Wonderful Life and how it's a myth.
Well, it is a wonderful myth. At one point...
So the miser, the dragon...
The hero dies. That is, he ceases to be. He doesn't really die, but...
No, he commits suicide.
He attempts. What he does is he ceases... He ceases to exist. His shamanic
Which is the goal of suicide, is it not? Not to split hairs, Mr. Campbell, but...
Nonetheless.
Very diplomatic.
He is no longer, correct? We can all agree on that? Always have to be right, don't you, Herbert?
Well...
Always have to be right.
Well, it's story problems, you see, and as a fellow storyteller, and as a feral storyteller. Oh, I'm out there in the woods telling my stories. Yes,
feeding yourself on verbs and prepositions.
Haven't been tamed. That's correct.
Picking wild adjectives off the vine. Oh, is it poisonous? I'll find out. A wonderful thing is he sees what the world would be like without him, and in essence, at the end, he finds himself returned and rejuvenated, and the angel is his guide, his Ben Kenobi, if you will, and shows him what this is all about. He returns, he comes back, he is appreciative, and he realizes he's not alone, and he is transformed, and he sees that he is surrounded by love and friends. And he is a better person, and he wants to now be the chief of that tribe, which he inherited from his father, the chief, the winner for the underdog.
But now, the dragon is not slain. He's not defeated, Mr. Potter.
No, but he is defanged. Is he not? The teeth, let's say, for example, symbolically, the teeth of that dragon, in this particular case, Mr. Potter, is teeth of money. He has lots of teeth, doesn't he?
Certainly.
At the end of the movie, he has an outpouring of money. The teeth. He has more teeth than the dragon.
So George Bailey is given all of these horrific teeth. Now he becomes the dragon.
He's taken the teeth. He's taken the teeth from the dragon.
George Bailey now becomes the Mr. Potter lording it over those simpering fools in Bedford Falls who turned their backs on him. Now revenge. Revenge is George Bailey's. Where were you all when I needed you? I was on top of a bridge, ready to cease to be.
Well, I suppose that is an outcome. But he, let's hope he didn't do that, but I guess that would be the sequel, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's put Jason Statham in there, and It's a Wonderful Life 2, The Revenge. There can be only one, yes? He walks over there.
Right.
He crams a knife through the heart, with a grenade on the end of it, through the heart of Mr. Potter, thereby blowing him up, taking over the bank, and demanding everybody pay their rents on time. And then that poor Italian gentleman who owns the...
Mr. Martini.
Yes, Mr. Martini owns Mr. Martini's bar. That becomes a pool hall. And if you can't pay your rent, you've got to go see Jason Statham, i.e. George Bailey now, and tell him you can't do this, and he kicks your ass using martial arts.
Do you know who I hope gets their comeuppance?
Who?
That deaf maker, Mr. Gower. Well, that's not fair. I realised George went deaf in the one ear because he saved his brother's life from the icy pond. But Mr. Gower didn't help anything. He did make the bad ear bleed.
He made the bad ear, but who cares? It doesn't work anyway, so...
You've got me there.
And he saved his life twice. He saves two people. George Bailey is a hero. He saves his brother, not thinking about his own well-being. He dives out onto the ice and he pulls his brother, his younger brother, crying out of the freezing cold water. Loses the hearing. There is the loss, you see. And then he saves Mr. Gower, bleeding from the same ear. Saves Mr. Gower from poisoning a young boy.
And countless of those stupid villagers from ingesting poison that Mr. Gower was going to disseminate throughout the village.
You have a great contempt for
I
mankind.
don't know why I've just become so angry at the town of Bedford Falls.
So angry. And here they turn around and they just dump money. The maid gives up her divorce money.
If she ever gets a husband.
If
Certainly
she-
that's their solution to everything is money.
If and
what
when
a
she
greedy
ever
little
gets a
band of rats they are.
But they gave it up. They gave up the money. I can't convert you.
I don't think you could turn me around on Bedford Falls now that I've
You
gone
are
sour
so
on
soured on Bedford Falls.
it.
You hate it there.
Mr. Campbell, we are running dangerously low on time, and I'd like to...
Should we
open it
pull
up.
over and fuel up on more time? I have a Citgo card.
Metaphor.